Well, this is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. I'm in the state of Maine this morning, and I'm out on a lake sitting in a canoe. It's sometime after 7 or before, so I don't know what time it is actually. I know the Lord woke me up, as He always does, around 3:30 this morning, and I came down here to the lake and watched the stars shoot around the heavens today. They were supposed to be shooting around the heavens. But to me, there's not much of a more content place to be than out on a lake in the state of Maine in the morning. It's so peaceful, so quiet. You can hear the road noise of cars off in the distance. But other than that, it is so quiet out here and so nice and peaceful. And I see a few things, like I see a jug or two floating around here that maybe somebody has a fishing line on, bobbing around. But other than that, it belongs to the birds and the trees and the things around it and the calmness of it. It is just so wonderful. I was reading in this Psalm 104 this morning how God caused the grass to grow, the cattle and the herbs for the service of men, that they may bring forth food out of the earth. And the water is put here for that reason, that it may bring forth food out of the earth, bring forth fish and food for men and for cattle. It brings forth watering of the ground. When the sun draws water, it draws it from the bodies of water. You see these little things sometimes, and you call them sun streaks. You see the streaks of the sun on a body of water. I did not know this for many years as I was growing up, what it was. And then one day I heard an older man say, the sun's drawing water today, and the sun's drawing a moisture up from the lakes, from the river, and from the ocean. It draws it up and forms the clouds, and after it forms the clouds, then they get heavier and they get pushed around, and then God has it rain where He would have it rain, and not rain where He wouldn't have it rain. I have a friend that told me, Brother Pete, he said one day, I needed some rain very bad on my garden, and I asked the Lord to send some rain. He said, and the Lord did. And there came this cloud, and it rained on my garden, but it didn't rain on the next door neighbor's garden, which didn't make him too happy. But you know, the Lord's in control, and the Lord knows the water, and all things are under His command. When Jesus walked on the water, he just commanded the water, just saying, hey, I know this is not the thing that you allow, but I'm above you, and I want you to allow me to walk on you. And so the water allowed Jesus to walk on Him, because He could walk on Him anyway. And then He allowed Peter to be able to walk on it. And that is one of the best stories I've ever seen in the Bible of obedience. Keeping your eyes upon Jesus and not upon the things of the world or on the water itself. Now, I have a boy that's a fisherman. He's on the water. I would, if I was, I would almost say he's out there this morning right now. He's in the state of Georgia, and I'd say he's on the water. He's out there catching a fish. And he has a certain fish he goes and catches. He likes to catch this striped bass. And it just intrigues him to be out there. But he's on swift water. It's amazing this morning. I'm sitting on this water, and I go out with him a lot. And we go out, and we're in torrential water. We're in horrendously water that looks dangerous to a human being, you say. He takes people out fishing sometime, and they just sweat gumdrops. They sit in the bottom of the boat, and they'll say, are we going to be able to make it up this? do this. And he said, yeah, don't worry about it. I do it all the time. I know what to do and how to do it. And so let's look and see what the Lord says in verse 17. The birds make their nest, and for the stalks, the fir trees have her house. They live up high in the trees. The high hills are the refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. You know what's on this earth, what's amazing? That you can go up on the peaks of a mountain, well, the highest mountain in the earth, where it's when it's cool time or when it's freezing, the lake would be froze, but there'd be a lake. And in the cool time, there'd be a lake just like this one, setting on top of that mountain. And that lake takes care of that land around it. It feeds the animals, the goats, the birds. It feeds what's in it. And what's in it feeds what's around it. Those are small animals that come and get the fish that are around it. The birds that dive down and get the things that water produces. The birds that live on those things. And everything is a sustaining body. God sustains it all, and everything else is sustained by God, but everything has a purpose, and the purpose is to support the earth. And God's desire when he put this earth here was that this earth would produce, would reproduce and produce the things that it needs to make it work and be a comfortable place. And I don't know if all canoe seats rock, but this one rocks. It makes it kind of hard to sit here and do what I'm doing with the seat rocking. He appointeth the moon. He appointeth for seasons, and the sun knoweth his going down. Do you know that I wished that I, as a man, for 30 years that I was following the devil, I didn't know what my duty on this earth was. And even though I say right now I wouldn't change one thing in my life, I wouldn't change the worst day, because if I did, I wouldn't be sitting here this morning where I am right now. Did you realize that if you change anything in your life, you would not be where you are? You would be in a different position, a different place, doing a different thing perhaps. And so I'm here where I am, doing what God would have me do, because I'm God's man, and God orders the steps of a good man. Well, what makes you a good man, Brother Peter? The only thing that makes me a good man is God. I'm not a good man on my own. I'm only a good man if God makes me a good man. And if God makes me a good man, it's through God and of God and in God that I'm a good man, not as a human being. But I am not a judge either. Judge not, the Bible said, lest you be judged. And what he's saying there is when you do make a judgment, make a righteous judgment. How should we judge if we judge at all? We should judge a tree, if it's an apple tree, by the fruit it bears. If it has apples on it, then it's an apple tree. If it has oranges on it, then it's an orange tree. And what a beautiful place to enjoy what God gave us, to just sit on this lake and enjoy what God gave us. I don't know if I'm done or not, but I'm going to change some things on this computer, and I'll see you all next time. And for this time, I'm going to try to get the sun to where I can see what I'm doing and do away with some things that I've caused in front of me, those little bubbles and those things in front of me. I did not put those there on purpose. They look like drops of water, and I'm out on the water, so it looks like it was something I did on purpose, and I really didn't. And so we're going to see if we can change that a little bit. Well, this is Brother Peter saying until next time, we'll see you. All right. And